Hello everybody, I'm Jenna and I'm here from Stretch Pilates, and today we thought we would take you through a foundation class just to let you know what you're in for should you be considering joining us for one of these wonderfully indulgent and restorative classes. We feel that the foundation class is the perfect way to get you started on your Pilates journey. We go through the basics, we go at a pace that is manageable, and at every stage we check in with the clients to see how you're feeling and coping. A lot of the clients in these classes are nervous of getting down onto the mat for the first time in a long time, and there is a real fear of not being able to stand up afterwards. So don't worry, you're not alone. We have a lot of clients that are in the same boat. And so we take it slow and we teach you the skills to get up off of your mat, and it's not a problem if you actually need the occasional crawl to a surface so that you can get some assistance in standing up. We would rather you do than do not. So that's why we decided to create these foundation classes so that people can get on their backs and start to get stronger from the inside out. So we often start lying on our back and just prepare with a few breaths to center you, and I'm going to go ahead and do just that. If you're joining me from home and you have access to a small ball, please grab your ball before you lie down or sit down on your mat. We're going to go ahead, place the ball between your knee, and then lie down in the center of your mat with enough space on either side to feel comfortable. I want you to press all 10 toes into the floor, and then feel the heaviness of your pelvis on the ground, the heaviness of your sternum on your mat, and then the length and lightness of your arms. Breathe into your tummy, drawing air in so that your tummy rises. This might be a foreign concept for you. Maybe you're used to breathing into your chest. So we'll take a few breaths here so that you can get accustomed to it. It's an inhale into your belly. And inhale again. So in our modern lifestyles, we tend to breathe into our chests because we're using a lot of the accessory muscles to breathe. And so by dragging that air into your tummy, you're actually trying to get the diaphragm to do its job. Now the diaphragm forms the top of your core. It's like the lid on your pot. And so we want our lid to be flexible, and we would like to get that lid to do its job properly. After a few breaths here, we're going to ask that you contract your abdominals deeply in towards your spine, and notice now how you don't know where to breathe anymore. So I'm going to ask you to breathe into the mat. Then relax everything, and we'll try again. You're going to exhale, suck in your tummy. Now that you've done that, we need to try and breathe into your mat, and then relax everything. We'll do it again. Exhale. Try and breathe into your mat. And then completely relax. So we are introducing the concept of a lateral breath, where the air moves into the side of your rib cage. You're definitely not going to get it on your first try, so don't be too hard on yourself. It takes some practice. Let's place your right hand on your abdomen and your left hand on your sternum. Breathe into your right hand on your abdomen. Inhale. And then exhale to suck in your stomach. Breathe into your abdomen again. And exhale. Let's do 3 more of those. Inhale into the right hand on your tummy, and exhale to pull the skin away from your right hand. Notice how my left hand isn't moving at all. Yours might move, and that's okay, you're forgiven. We'll practice it together in the weeks to come. Take your hands and place them on your rib cage now, out wide. Okay, so some shoulders don't let you get very high up on your rib cage. That's okay, as long as you know where I want your hands to be. You can try and drag your air into that space. Inhale into the hands. And then exhale. Inhale into the hands. And exhale. I find that this inhale stretches into the side body and into my oblique muscles. And it sometimes feels like I want to cramp because I'm inhaling so deeply into an area that I otherwise avoid. So if you feel the same, we're not alone. Last one, we're going to inhale into those hands. Good. And then hopefully you haven't hyperventilated your way into a dizzy spell. We're going to suck in the lower abdominals, and we're only going to suck them into 30%. The reason we draw into 30% is we're trying to mimic the everyday spine. People who are not in pain do not over-recruit their tummy. They only use it at 30%. So let's try and be like them. Let's try and suck in to 30%, not 100. We're going to straighten your right leg, not moving the thighs and not letting the bum bones change their pressure on the mat. You'll float up the right heel and extend the right shin, reaching the leg, trying to keep the length out the leg as opposed to letting that right bum drop and the left hip lift. So we're going to reach that right leg long, and then you'll lower it down, toe, and then heel. Now we're going to ask the other side to do the same thing without shifting your weight. So you have to keep those bum bones anchored evenly, lift the heel on the left, and extend the left leg, reaching it. A little bit of length will help you from dumping into your left side, and then lower the leg, toe, heel. So let's alternate. Right leg goes, try not lose your ball. If you're losing it, just rearrange it, it's not a problem, comes down. Exhale, left leg goes, reaching. I'm losing my ball, so I'll just quickly grab it, put it back, and then come down. Right leg's going to extend on an exhale. Okay, so it's a simple move, but it's not easy because you're trying to get everything correct. We're trying to keep 30% activation, and then the transfers need to be seamless and come down. You can make it harder by tightening deeper into the thighs. Okay, so we'll settle now with both feet on the floor, and we're going to give a little ball squeeze. So you'll notice that your back is in neutral, and we want it to remain in neutral. You got to squeeze your knees without tucking your tail. This is wrong. We don't want your bum to squeeze the ball. You need to lay your bum bones down on the mat. We want your inner thighs to squeeze and then release. So the pelvis is in neutral. That means that the pubic bone and the hip bones form a triangle that's parallel to the floor. So if you want to take a moment to put your heels of your hands on your hip bones and your index fingers or your middle fingers on your pubic bone, you're going to create a triangle, and that triangle is not going to change its orientation. You squeeze your knees and you release your knees. Now you might find if your pelvis is in neutral, you can then feel how arched your back is. We do not need it so arched, so your ribs must come down. So we'll continue to keep the pelvis where it was and try and draw the bones of the back into the floor while squeezing your knees. And this is a skill you're going to need going into the beginner and the intermediate classes, and we assume that you understand this concept of neutral. Okay, we don't. We're very kind. We tell you about neutral all the time. But I would like you to develop the skill and the understanding of where you are in space on a foundation level. And so we'll exhale to squeeze. Then let's keep the squeeze, be a bit mean. We're going to crush the bones of your back into the floor, and we're going to pull the pubic bone towards your chest and get a tuck in the tail. Now we're asking the tummy to pull pubic bone, and we're getting the glutes to push bum bones, and then we'll unravel. So getting a feeling of where that pelvis is when it's in a posterior pelvic tilt, and then unravel past neutral, maybe even crouch into an anterior pelvic tilt, and then we'll go deep into our posterior pelvic tilt. And we've got a bit of a ball squeeze. So everything's happening here, and we'll do a few more. And it is actually quite nice to move out of neutral and feel a stretch on the muscles after having been in neutral for a while. And especially if you're not used to being in neutral, it can be quite a lot of work. So it's quite a reprieve to actually get that wringing out of the abdominals. And so we'll do one last one, and then we're going to escalate things. We pick up the coccyx, pressing all 10 toes into the floor, and squeeze your bum under you, and you'll feel your hamstrings firing. Come back down, unravel, and lay down the coccyx, and voila. Let's do it again. Abs engage, pulling pubic bone to chest, squashing the bones of your low back into the floor, and then peel up while squeezing and tucking, pressing the pelvis up. So be mindful that ribs want to flare. If you want to go too high, you're going to go out of the intention of the exercise. The intention is to keep a tuck and to keep the ribs down, and then lower the spine and unravel the pelvis. We'll do 3 more. Suck in the tummy, squash the bones, and then curl up and engage the glutes all the way till the end. You keep the glutes tucked, and then lower yourself back down, unravel. Just 2 more. Abs, tuck bottom, press up, pull on your heels towards your bum and squeeze, lower back down, unravel. And so we'll do another one and pick it up. Inhale at the top, and then lay down the spine, trying to land evenly on both bum bones. We have a very different feeling coming up next. It's the same movement of up and down, but we aren't going to ramp it up with a curl. We're actually going to just bridge up and down. And the reason I'm adding this to our program today is I want you to know where that pelvis is and what neutral feels like and when you're not in neutral. So there we went out of neutral into a posterior pelvic tilt. We lifted up and we came down like a songololo. So for this next exercise, I'm going to actually get you to hover up like a helicopter lifting off the floor. So you engage your glutes like you're wrapping them. You don't tuck, you just squeeze. Then we press the feet into the floor, and so the hips hover up, 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 up into a bridge without curling. When you come back down, you now have to let your bum bones go at the same time, finding neutral spine, neutral pelvis, and land evenly. So that helicopter lifts off the floor without a runway. We press the pelvis up, 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 and you come back down. And this is just good for your brain to feel and lift. So strength isn't only in a tuck. You don't have to curl into the fetal position to be strong. You can learn where you are in neutral, in space, and be strong there. And we'll do 2 more. And your last one. And down. Good. And then relax. I'm going to get your feet to touch. Take your arms off your mat and just take that ball over to the right hand side and drag back the spine. Go over to the left. And so we'll do a few here. Try to keep your shoulders anchored, and if you are tending to lift the shoulder up, then just turn your palms up to the ceiling to try and turn off the tension in the neck and the shoulders. Let's do 1 more per side. And we are going to get rid of that ball between your inner thighs. And so we'll come back to center. And then we just open up the knees and let the ball fall. So I want your right foot to go on top of the ball. We have different grades to work your lower abdominals here. So just getting the tummy to activate is like a grade 1. And then getting the tummy to activate and suck in at 30% activation without jumping while moving the leg will be a grade 2 with a lightness on the ball. So in these classes that we do, we'll perform grade 1, 2, 3, all the way to 4. But it's very individualized because some people at grade 2 can't actually control their tummy muscles. So wherever you are in your activation journey, you might be stuck at grade 1 or grade 2 and everybody else is happily at grade 4. So for the sake of today's session, I'm going to go straight to grade 4. You can join me there and see how you fare, but it's very likely that we're going to need to start you on grade 1 or 2. We'll lift the left leg to tabletop, and even in the act of lifting, you can feel and see the tummy wants to jump. So I'm going to encourage you to suck in your stomach, push the bones of your back into the floor, lift your heel first, and then float that leg up to tabletop, and hopefully you manage to keep a sucked in rather than a bulging stomach. We'll keep that leg there, and then the right leg as light as you can handle it in terms of your abdominal strength. So the heavier I am on the ball, the less abs I'm actually using. The lighter I am, the more tummy I'm using to control. We're going to take the right leg away, and maybe that's as far as you can go. Or maybe you can go all the way, but when you come back up, you're not allowed to bulge the tummy. Okay, so the hands are on the abdomen, you'll take the leg away, and then you'll come back in. So maybe it's only 3 or 4 that you can handle before you start to feel the tummy bulging. And exhale in. But you don't go past where you can't cope. You stop doing this exercise if you start bulging. We'll do the other side. All sides are created differently, so you might find that you can cope on one side more than the other. And so we'll take that leg away and bring it back in. Also, the closer this knee is to the chest, the more likely you are to actually have control. So if you want to, you're seeking something a little harder, you can take the leg away and up, and then we'll do one more and bring it back up. Good, and relax. Let's get you into side lying. You can use your ball as a pillow, but it might be too high for me. Yeah, I think I'll use my arm instead. So I want your feet in line with your spine. You're going to suck in your tummy and squeeze your bum bones. You want to dab your bum back, lift your knee, and come down again. So depending on the individual range of your hips, you might be able to get your knee a lot higher than mine. And so we'll lift it up and down. This has always been a struggle. So while you're rolling up and down with that knee, you're not rolling back with your pelvis. I want you to imagine my foot is in your sacrum, in your bum bone here, and I'm pushing you forward. So even to the point that your knee grows longer and lifts up, like you're opening a snackwich machine. You know those old school ones that have to click out and then come forward and go back in. So let's do that. Let's try and keep reaching the kneecap forward. And so we'll do 5 more. 4. And so just because it's foundation doesn't mean it has to be, it mustn't be challenging. It can still challenge you. So any number of sets can be done of these exercises. So you don't just need to do 1 round, you can do several rounds. So what we're going to do is lift the foot and stamp the knee up and down. For the sake of this video, I'll just do 1 round, but feel free to press pause and do a second set of these exercises as maybe you get stronger in your glutes. But I'm hoping that you are starting to feel burning in your bum. And so now we're going to do a combination of these exercises where we tap the knee and then the foot. So you'll lift your knee, tap your feet, and lift your foot, tap your knee, and then lift your knee, tap your feet. Good. Trying to keep the pelvis still and long. Trying to keep your head back and in line with the rest of your spine. And then we'll do 2 more. And so here's where you can press pause and do the other side. But the rest of us are just going to grab that ankle and attempt to stretch the front of the thigh. So with a lot of people in our classes, this stretch is very difficult to even grab the ankle, or the knee feels quite tight. So what you can do is use a loop or a band or a belt or scarf and grab it round your ankle and then do the stretch for the front of the thigh. And also if the knee is feeling tight over the actual joint line, so here in your knee, you can roll a little hand towel and stick it behind your knee to open up the joint. So we'll hold the stretch, squeezing your bum, trying to tuck your tail. You don't want to flare your rib cage, and you don't want to arch your back. You want to rather focus on a quality stretch here by squeezing your bum. And then we get to relax it without the foot flinging all over the place. And we'll go over to the other side. Head back in line with your spine. Hips stacked, feet back. Also in line with your spine. Lift your knee. Don't roll backwards. Do grow that kneecap forward and up. Lifting the knee. Getting long. Trying to keep a waistline so that you don't sink your ribs down. You want a little hollow. I call it a house for your mouth here in the side of your waist. I love doing the foundation work. Brings you back to just focusing on trying to make it valuable. So just because an exercise is simple doesn't mean you don't have space for it in your program. So the simplest exercises, you have to dig deep to feel them. So you want to contract your abs, lengthen your tailbone, lengthen the neck long, press the head back, press the hip forward, grow the knee longer, get some height. There are ways to make this way more valuable than just lifting and lowering your knee. We're going to take the foot up now. And in this version of the movement, you can't roll forward. Well, of course, you want to roll forward, but you mustn't. You have to pull your bum back and then keep that internal rotation of the femur bone, which is your thigh, and keep the foot reaching up towards the ceiling. And you don't want to take the knee up towards your chest. You want to go straight up to the sky. So imagine your knees in an elevator and the knees just traveling up and down. It's not going forwards, it's not going backwards, it's just going up and down. And now we're going to do a combination of tapping the feet and then tapping the knees and tapping the feet. Keeping that waistline. Looking forward to our thigh stretch, or maybe you're looking forward to your second set. So in a few reps time, you can go ahead, press pause, and do your second set on this side. You're going to grab your foot and stretch the front of your thigh, pulling back the knee but squeezing the bum, making sure the knee's not flying high, trying to keep it in line with your butt, squeezing your bum, tucking your tail. Good, and then you can relax it, and we'll come out of that stretch. Let's get you on your hands and knees. Okay, so onto hands and knees. We're going to press the hands into the floor, but if your wrists are feeling particularly painful, you can go onto your knuckles or fold your mat over, and so that you have a descending hand, which should ramps down and isn't so uncomfortable. Another option would be to get a box and put your elbows on top of the box. But we won't be here for long, and you do need to get stronger. So we can also use dumbbells and have the dumbbells in the hands. But let's try and make you comfortable. So you can run around and try and make yourself comfortable. Sucking in the tummy, shoving your shins down into the floor. You want to get long out of your neck. And then we're going to slide your right hand forward, but not lift it off the floor. And slide your left foot back and also not lift it off the floor. So we're pressing the hands down into the floor and the foot down into the floor. And you're going to tighten your tummy and hold that position. Come back in and we'll do the other side. The idea here is that you're not wanting to shift your weight from side to side. We will slide the limbs and hold yourself there without leaning over to the left hand side. Then you'll bring your limbs back in. And we'll go again, sliding those limbs, pressing into the floor and trying to keep everything anchored. Drag it back in, and we'll go again, pressing into that floor. And in, and exhale. And in, and exhale. And in. Now we'll do one where we're going to lift the right arm and left leg off the floor without falling over. So right arm, left leg lift. You keep your tummy engaged and you're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down and in. If that is too hard, choose only arm or only leg. Go and lift. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down and lift. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And last one, we lift. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down. We're going to go ahead and lie on your side again. We need to work your side body. So I would like your legs slightly in front of you, your hand in front of your abdomen, palm down, and then the bottom arm can hold your head or be long and strong. We're going to lift up those legs and see if you can hover, and then lower yourself back down again. We'll lift up your legs and hover and come back down. If this is too challenging and you feel yourself rolling from side to side, you can choose to just lift the top leg and down, or you can actually put the top leg forward and lift the bottom leg up and down. So if this inspires you, you can do all 3. We've got lifting both legs, lifting only the top leg, or lifting only the bottom leg. Let's roll over and do the other side. Hand under head, legs nice and straight, other hand in front, and lift the legs. Or arms straight, so lift. Again, if this is too uncomfortable, maybe you're too wobbly, you can choose to lift the top leg only, trying not to fall over. You can choose to bend the top leg forward and lift only your bottom leg. Or you can do all 3. Top leg together, or both legs together, top leg only, and bottom leg only. 2 more, and then we're going to actually lie on our tummies and do a back extension. Onto your tummy. Lying on your stomach, I want your hands at your side, and we're going to take your eye line down towards the mat. So you'll get long in your neck, and the idea is not to go for height, it's to go for length. Squeeze your hands into the side of your body, lifting your hands off the mat, but lengthening those fingertips along your thighs. Lifting your head slightly up, but mainly squeezing the shoulders down your back, and then rest. So it's an inhale to do it again. Inhale, up, up, up. Long, long, long. Squash, squash, squash. And lower. And inhale. Long, pressure, wrists, elbows, shoulders, and down. We'll do 3 more. Inhale. And down. 2. Long. And down. And last one. Up. And down. Let's go ahead and lie on your back. Please cross your right leg over your left knee. And if this feels good and feels like a stretch, so be it. But if you're seeking more, we're going to lift up that left leg, interlace your fingers behind your left thigh, and hold this bum stretch. To accentuate the stretch, you're going to drop your coccyx down towards the floor and drag your knee towards your chest. You can also play by tilting over to the left-hand side and see if that finds other fibers. Come back to center, lower the right leg down, cross the left ankle over the right knee. And again, if this is you, that's fine. But if you're seeking some more, we're going to lift that leg up, obviously without bulging your stomach and throwing your legs around the room. We're going to interlace the fingers and hold the stretch. Arch your back ever so slightly to accentuate the stretch. And then maybe you need to rock over onto the right glute a little bit more. Depends on you. Some people run away from the stretch in different directions. So don't be scared to fiddle, faff, and play with your movement and find and seek a deeper stretch. Good. Deep breath in. And out. And then we'll lower both feet down to the floor, but make the feet wide as your mat is wide. We're going to let the knees go over to the right hand side, stretching into an internal rotation of this hip. So we're stretching the external rotators, we're stretching some of the hip flexors here on the outside. And then we'll pick up those knees using abdominals, wringing out your tummy muscle. We go over to the other side, and so we are working the obliques to come up and out of this stretch, pushing the knee. So you're pressing your right knee down into the floor, getting length out of the front body, side body. Once again, abdominals go in, you inhale, and exhale, drag the spine into the floor as you pull over to the other side. Wringing out. Lengthen the left kneecap. Drag in the tummy muscles, imprint your spine. Go up and over onto the other side. Last stretch, find me length. Deep inhale. Drag those abs down into the floor. Come back to center, knock your knees, close your eyes, and relax your shoulders. I want you to relax your face, all the little muscles on your brow and in your jaw. Soften your neck and find a bit of length between the bones of your cervical spine. Relax your shoulders. Relax your hips. And then you can straighten your right leg to the right hand corner, left leg to the left hand corner. And if this feels comfy, you can stay here. If it doesn't, you're welcome to bend your knees again. Breathe into your belly. Take a beautiful inhale and sigh it out. Take a lovely deep inhale again, and this time as you breathe out, let all your tension go. Well done. So thank you for joining us for the foundation session. We hope to see you for another one soon.